My favorite time of the year, Drury. It's my favorite time of the year.
It's everybody's
Bills have
favorite
failed
time
again.
of the year. Oh, the Bills have, that's why it's your favorite time of year.
That's
Suddenly
right.
you're a big Bills hater.
That's
Wow.
right. How about my Lions?
Welcome back. How about your Lions? Welcome back to Instigating with Clarkie and Drury. Big show today. A lot to dig into, as Clarkie alluded to later in the show. Special treat. We're going to chat with our golf expert, Ian Doig. He's down there. He's playing on the Legends Tour.
He's in New Zealand today. Yeah,
he's in New Zealand, but he's been in Australia. Yep. He's going to be back. He's bounced around. He's on the Legends Tour. He's a busy guy. We're going to check in with him, talk a bit about this live situation. Koepka's coming back. Our other guy's going to follow. We're going to get into all that stuff. But right now, the topic du jour is NFL football, and there's some people we love to go to when we want to talk ball. One of them is our very good friend. You know this guy from Homestand Sports, Fansided. We love our brother, Justin Pooni. Justin, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing well, guys. Thanks so much for having me. It feels like it's been a while, but it really hasn't. And whatever with you guys feels like I'm right at home.
Well, that's good to hear. Yeah. That's good to hear. Well, I know that as Clarkie alluded to, apparently he's a big Bills hater now. Clarkie, what's the deal?
Well, you know I'm a big Bills hater.
Okay.
I seem to remember Clarkie had a couple hats last time I was on, I think. And
I got neither of them.
He had a lot of hats. There was a lot of hats.
That's okay. Well, that's okay. You can't win every year, but
you can't
win at all ever.
No, they're like the Leafs, right? You know, MLSE and the Bills had a that little partnership that came out. I guess they're just living up to the partnership, right?
Yeah. Speaking of partnerships, how about the Brandon Beane and Terry Pegula partnership?
Yeah, the power trip
show of a presser the other day. What do you make of all this? It's unbelievable. And Terry Pegula, I heard, is his first press conference in a long time, and probably
I think 9 years.
9 years. Crazy, and he probably shouldn't have another one anytime soon.
You know what? He was mentioning power play a lot when they brought that power play question about Brandon Beane potentially muscling out Sean McDermott. I kind of wish it was a follow-up question on how'd you fix the Sabres power play? Hey, those guys have turned it around quite a bit this season. But no, you know what? I hearken it back to kind of, and Terry Pegula hit the nail on the head. They hit the playoff wall. And this team, the Buffalo Bills, they have a lot of people this year. And I think Josh Allen's a great player. He's probably the second best quarterback in the NFL. But this year it got kind of insufferable, just how much people were kind of coronating him as the best quarterback in football. And that, to me, kind of made him a little bit unlikable. But they hit a playoff wall. And their roster simply wasn't good enough, guys. And their best player did not play well enough in a playoff game. What was it? 5 turnovers. Was it 3 fumbles? Lost 2 of them, the 2 picks. Missed the game-winning, game-clinching pass in the fourth quarter. Missed another pass in overtime. We could talk all we want about Sean McDermott and the Bills. And yes, was it time for a change? Probably was after that 13-second loss to Kansas City. But this falls squarely on the shoulders of Josh Allen, this loss. Yes, the team was not good enough, but he had the number 1 running back in the NFL, had the best offensive line, according to PFF. Take that for what you will. And they couldn't get it done.
Who do you have to throw the ball to, though?
Hey, you know what? Khalil Shakir has been a good slot receiver. You got some good tight ends. Patrick Mahomes won a Super Bowl with Sky Moore. Right, and McCole Hardman.
Yeah, that's the thing here. And look, I love Josh Allen and all the things he does out there, and I want to dig into him a little more in a minute here on that note with people to throw to. But you bring up Sean McDermott, and obviously the interception that was or wasn't. Everybody's talking about what a catch is again. At the end of the day, Justin, you kind of hinted on it. Did this guy deserve to take the fall for this? Because I'm blown away that because of the roster construction and the way this Bills team played, specifically on offense at times, I'm shocked that Brandon Beane isn't gone as well. Did McDermott deserve to take the fall for this?
No, they both should have. If I was Terry Pegula, I would have just said, you know what? Thanks for the 9 years, McDermott. Thanks for having, I think Bean's been there a little bit less than McDermott, but thanks for your service. Thanks for taking this organization before these guys got there. It was a losing franchise, one of the worst in all of sports, not just the NFL, right? Like they were going to move to Toronto at one point, right? So thank you for what you've done, but we're in the business of winning a Lombardi trophy, right? And I would have got rid of both of them. I think McDermott, you need a fresh voice in the locker room. He's a defensive coach, and their defense has dissipated over the years. And Brandon Bean, like you gave Von Miller $75 million guaranteed. How'd that turn out for you? Not that good. You drafted what, 2 Pro Bowlers out of the 56, 58 draft picks you made? Not good enough, right? It's not good enough, especially when you have a talent. And we saw it at this trade deadline, right? Jacoby Myers goes to the Jacksonville Jaguars, an aggressive move. The Seattle Seahawks get Rashid Shaheed, aggressive move. You see these teams, the Eagles every year, the Niners, the Rams, whoever. The teams that are in the business of winning titles make aggressive moves, and the Bills just haven't done that. It's always been, all right, Josh, go save us. It doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to, and I understand why they have that type of faith in the guy, because like I just said, I think he's a great player. He's a fantastic quarterback. He's extremely entertaining to watch. But on that note, like you brought it up, Clarkey said, who did he have to throw to and who's he got to lean on offensively in the pass game? Yeah, his weapons, when you look at the other guys that are certainly still playing, not incredible. But then again, I would go over to the Patriots right now. Forget about what Tom Brady was throwing to his early Super Bowl years. Outside of Deion Branch, who, by the way, was not a household name and was not the most amazing receiver in the world. I remember those days. Do you guys remember who David Patton is? No, you don't. Do you remember Kevin Falk? No, you don't. Nobody remembers those guys outside of Foxborough, New England. So Drake May's got Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs had some pretty good games this year, but he's making plays with Kayshon Boutte and Hunter Henry and stuff. So I would say this, I guess, Justin, does Josh Allen need to learn how to be a better passer of the football? Because what I'm going to look back on from that game is not the controversial no pick. I'm going to look back and go, he overthrew Cooks twice. He overthrew McCole Hardman. And at the end of the game, what could have been the penultimate ending play of the game outside of an extra point was that throw to Dawson Knox. That was 3 feet over Dawson Knox's head. Does this guy need to learn how to be a better passer? Because I think Mahomes makes that throw. I think Brady back in the day makes that throw. Drew Brees makes that throw. And the Buffalo Bills, we're talking about them playing the Patriots in the AFC's championship.
It's a good question, Ryan. I like that question a lot. Does he need to be a better passer? A lot of people will take that and be like, oh, what are you talking about? Josh Allen's an elite thrower of the football. That is correct. But you kind of touched on it here, and I want to get your guys' opinion on this too. There's a difference between a good passer of the football and a great clutch passer of the football, right? You look at a guy, you just mentioned it, Mahomes, in those games, right? You know he's gonna make those passes, right? You look at a guy like Tom Brady, you know he's gonna make those passes. Hell, look at the guy who won the Super Bowl last year in Jalen Hurts. Say what you will about Jalen Hurts, but if Jalen Hurts, the one thing we can never say about him is his game doesn't diminish when it matters the most. His game elevates. The 2 best games he's ever played in his career was in the Super Bowl. And for Josh Allen, it seems that when the stakes are the highest, he doesn't play his best. And I think, does he need to improve as a passer? No. Does he need to be smarter with the football and a more cerebral passer of the football when it matters the most? Absolutely. I think Josh Allen needs to get rid of those turnovers and learn and take a page out of Brady and Mahomes, where I don't need a home run ball every single time. Take it piece by piece, chunk by chunk, those methodical drives, because that's how you win in the playoffs, right? We see it every year. The team that controls the time of possession, the teams that make the least amount of mistakes, they win the Super Bowl, right? And Josh Allen, time and time again, makes those critical errors. at the critical time. And that's a large reason why the Buffalo Bills have never even made a Super Bowl. It's not a lot of people were saying this year, and I'm sure you guys, talked about this as well, that the boogeyman or, the ghost of Patrick Mahomes is not there. It's the Bills' time, right? Everybody thought that, but maybe the real ghost is Josh Allen just can't get out of his own head and play smart football when it matters the most.
That could be the case, right? And look, for Bills fans, and we got buddies that are Bills fans, they're all over the place up here. I think this guy is completely capable of winning a Super Bowl. I think he can win multiple Super Bowls. I look at it sometimes and everyone is going, oh, the GM screwed us with the roster. The coach made bad decisions. That wasn't an interception. I'm like, you guys had multiple opportunities with the ball in this guy's hands to win the game. And eventually after 8 or 9 years, this guy's 30 now, Justin.
Yeah.
I expect a big game-winning throw from a quarterback. I love all the game-breaking plays and shuffling out of the pocket and getting away from guys and the size and everything. I love it. I expect a quarterback to make a big game-winning throw to win a playoff game at some point. I watched Brady. I'm blessed. I understand that. I'm not like a lot of other football fans. I'm blessed. I got to watch the best ever do it all of the time. Could I get some of the time from this guy? That Dawson Knox miss is going to, if he never wins a Super Bowl, which I again don't think, I think he can get one. If he never wins one, that miss is going to live in Buffalo Bills fans' heads, just like wide right in the Super Bowl that year.
13 seconds, right?
13 seconds, 4 straight Super Bowls in the 90s, couldn't win them. And I don't want that. I don't want that for Bills fans, but
look, I think we can all agree that there's certain sports cities that deserve to have, something nice happen to them once in a while. And look, the good people of Buffalo, they have to deal with the Sabres for the last 15, 16 years that have been horrible. And the Bills, just playoff heartbreak after playoff heartbreak. But I think the Bills, this year, I've really tried to limit the amount of what sports content I intake, right? I really decided to make a conscientious effort, especially this football season, to really just start making my own analogies and not letting all the other narratives and hot, air blowers out there to skew the narrative. I do think that the Bills and a lot of Bills protectors throw a lot of the blame on everybody else but the quarterback. And I get it. He is the superstar of the franchise. It's hard to bear culpability to that, but he should, right? And I think, you hit the nail on the head there, Ryan. Yes, Josh Allen is good enough to win a Super Bowl. Should he win multiple? Absolutely. But look at John Elway. It took him how many years to win and heartbreak, right? We don't know if that's going to happen. We don't know if Lamar Jackson will ever win a Super Bowl. He's another guy, Joe Burrow. These 4 guys, including Mahomes, are so great that we expected that they're going to win, but so many good teams. You're looking at it this year, right? The best quarterback right now is Matt Stafford, left in the playoffs. And then you got Drake May, who, again, a young guy. But then you have Jarrett Stidham, who I know we'll probably touch on this in a bit. I think he can do a comparable job. And Sam Darnold, who, my Seahawks, he's a game manager. So you think that these guys can win, but you never know because there's going to be the new kid on the block, a Caleb Williams, a Fernando Mendoza, maybe an Arch Manning, whoever, right? So look, Josh Allen is 1 year older. I think this coaching hire that they're going to make is the biggest in their franchise's history. They need to get this right.
Ryan, why do you think he can win a Super Bowl?
Because he is so talented, Clarky. He is a game breaker, and he can do things on the football field that.
But he's never won. Guys so what would make him?
I understand that, but there have been a lot of guys over the course of history, and you like to bring it up all the time on the hockey side. There's lots of guys that it took them a long time. I love the Elway comparison. I hope that doesn't happen for Buffalo.
I was just curious because I heard the argument from you a couple weeks ago that the Leafs can't win because they've never won.
No, I didn't say that.
You did.
That's not what I said.
Go back in the go back.
I did not say they can't win because they've never won. That doesn't make any sense. I never said that. I said they can't win the way that they're playing right now with this roster. I do not believe you're steering the topic over to hockey here, Clarky. We're talking about. I don't think that
we won't do
I feel the same way about the Bills.
His Canucks aren't doing too well.
No, I don't mind. I'm glad there's a rebuild happening right now. I think the rebuild is great.
They need it. They need it. No, look, I feel the same way about the Leafs I do with this Bills roster right now. I don't feel like they can win with the way it is constructed. I feel like they have core players that are absolutely talented enough in the right circumstances to do it. But you're right, Justin. I think this is the hugest coaching high. It is going to be a massive, massive story. Speaking of massive stories and talking about guys, new kids on the block that might be in Josh Allen's way for the next 10 years, let's talk a little bit about the AFC Championship game and Drake May going up against Jarrett Stidham. I'm bummed out that Bo Nix can't play. In your opinion, when you look at the two sides here, dominant defense in Denver, mind you, New England did just take down the number one defense in the NFL, but that was at home. They got to go to Mile High. And even though Jarrett Stidham's playing quarterback, he's not some schlub. He knows the offense. He's going to be able to move the ball around a bit. Who do you see coming out on top of this thing, man? It's a tough call. Patriots, last I looked, are favored by 5 on the road. They're not giving Denver love.
I'll tell you what, the one lock I have, I don't know who's going to win this game. I know the Broncos will cover the 5-point spread. That's what it is right now. I love Drake May. I think what Drake May has done for the New England Patriots has been great. I think he's a great leader. I think you can just see he has that it factor. But I think with this Patriots team, Ryan, you know the old adage, and Clark, you know this too with hockey, you got to learn to win before you can win. I just have a feeling that maybe this stage might be a little bit too much for Drake May, especially with that defense, with a guy like Patrick Surtain, who basically takes a third of the field away from you, right? Because you're not going to throw it his way. Nick Bonito is another guy who can get after it. Will Campbell, their left tackle. Now again, I know Will Anderson Jr. behind Myles Garrett is the best edge rusher in football, but that's a bit worrisome to me, right? So I think the Broncos defense can make Drake May's life hard. It wasn't like he played great against the Chargers or he played great against the Texans. I think he'll make the plays. I just think something in the back of my head thinks that Jarrett Stidham is going to play a clean game. Sean Payton has done wonders before with backup quarterbacks, Taysom Hill, Jameis Winston, Teddy Bridgewater. He paid $12 million for Stidham to be his backup. So I just think it's going to be a close game, and I can see the Broncos murking it up and winning late on like a 17-14 game, something like that. I think that Drake May is going to be living in the AFC Championship game for years to come. I just don't know. My gut just tells me I just don't know if he's going to win this year. In Denver, against a good defense like the Broncos have, and the turnovers he's had the last couple weeks worry me a bit. And that is something that I think could a good defense and a game manager quarterback like Stidham can take advantage of.
It'll certainly be interesting. I would say it's an interesting game of narratives, right? And obviously we're recording this on the day that Mike Vrabel was named Coach of the Year, which is great. Again, Clarky, I said I'm not going to be up in arms if Drake May doesn't win MVP, but I would flip a table over if Mike Vrabel wasn't named Coach of the Year. And he has been. It's a game of two narratives. Is this moment too big for Drake May? And on the other side of it, are people downgrading how good this Patriots defense is? Yes, they're not the number 1 or 2 defense. They got some unbelievable players over there, and I think that they could cause some real problems for my buddy Jerry Stidham. However, it's going to be an interesting game. And here's the difference between Drake May so far in his young playoff career and what we've seen out of Josh Allen, a guy like him. Drake May did not have a very good game against the Texans. He had a pretty good game against the Chargers. He managed the ball well. The Texans, a lot of turnovers. But when the big moment needed to happen, Drake May found it. And the other thing, too, is that they've got that twin-headed monster at running back. Trevion Henderson has come out of nowhere, and Ramondre Rumble on Stevenson. I think that could cause me a problem. It's going to be an unbelievable game. Yeah. I can't wait. I'm obviously leaning Patriots, but I wouldn't be shocked if Denver did this. Home field, Jarrett Stidham with some good weapons to throw to, and that defense, Surtain's going to make noise. I just hope Christian Gonzalez can answer it.
Hey,
let's switch. Yeah. Go ahead, Justin.
No, I was going to say, people don't, you talk about the Surtain and the Stingleys and stuff like that, but Christian Gonzalez, who forced the fumble last week against the Texans? Christian Gonzalez, right?
Gonzalez, Barmore, Ellis.
Milton Williams has been great on that defensive line, right?
Davis. They got... You know what the crazy thing, too, is that I'm hyped up about as a Patriots fan? We're doing this with the most cap space in the league.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're doing this. It's Mike Vrabel.
And
Mike Vrabel.
They got the quarterback right? Quarterback, head coach, you get that right. A lot of things, end up running, he covers a lot of things up. Let's just say that.
It covers quite a bit up. Clarkie's Lions are wishing that they could have done that this year. It is Lions, right? Not the Ravens. You're not.
Well, does it matter?
I don't know.
Does it matter?
You tell me. Well, I know something that does matter to our guest is our next topic, and that is the NFC Championship. Two big powerhouses. It's the immovable object meeting the unstoppable force here. It is the incredible offensive juggernaut in the LA Rams against this gentleman and one of the best defenses we've seen in the NFC in a really long time. Sam Darnold is not seeing ghosts anymore. He's not in New York. He's doing great things for this Seattle team. You're a big Seahawks guy, Justin, but as unobjective as you can be, how are you feeling about how this game is going to turn out against the old wily veteran Matt Stafford?
Well, yeah, you mentioned, Ryan. The Seahawks have masked a lot of the pain being a Canucks fan this year. It made me feel that, I can love sports. Good things can happen.
Yeah.
It starts with the coach, the head coach, Mike McDonald. And I don't know if you guys saw that video the Seahawks put out on social media yesterday where he kind of called a shot saying his very first meeting with the team back in 2024 when he got hired. He said, imagine this, NFC Championship game, it's 30 degrees, it's raining, we're hosting it, and we're ready for this moment. And the culture that he's built over the last 2 years after Pete Carroll left has been absolutely dynamic. They have built the right football team. They've hit on the draft, and they have a quarterback in Sam Darnold who they don't need to throw him for him to throw 40 times. I don't want Sam Darnold throwing the ball 40 times because that means the Seahawks are behind and they're going to have Sam Darnold lean on his arm to win the games. It starts with that defense, the number one defense in football. It starts with the running attack with Kenneth Walker, who seems to now be getting a lot more touches with Zach Charbonnet's ACL. And you have Jackson Smith-Njigba, who is probably going to win Offensive Player of the Year. And you have a guy in Cooper Kupp who's a vet. Those are the guys that you lean on before Sam Darnold. So when I look at this game, do the Rams scare me? No, they don't scare me. Does Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay scare me? They don't, because you've seen this team twice already this season. And one could say if Sam Darnold keeps the ball clean in both those games, the Seahawks win those games kind of running away, right? So what it comes down to with every Seahawks game, and it's going to be like that until they win the Super Bowl, and if they do with Sam Darnold, is can he keep the ball clean? That is the biggest thing. If Sam Darnold keeps the ball clean, does not give it up, does not give it up in bunches, and that defense plays the way they can, they win this game. I don't have a doubt about it in my mind. And then you throw in on top of that a guy electrifying as Rashid Shaheed in special teams.
Wow.
I mean, what
a pickup
do they have, right? I don't know if that was the most objective analysis of it, but that's what I'm going with. Seahawks are the most complete team in the NFL right now. And I don't think anybody can argue that.
They're playing like it. They're playing like it, which is the most important thing. And I mean, that defense is scary to anybody. What needs to happen for this gentleman right here to negate everything you just said? I mean, obviously, I think on the offensive side of the football, they're the most complete team. On the offensive side of the football, with their attack, I mean, Devontae Adams is your number 2 guy wide. Everybody knows what Puka Nacua is all about. The guy's a freak. And this dude's a wily old veteran who just knows everything. He's seen every situation you can throw at him. What does Matt Stafford and his teammates need to do to come out on top of this thing?
They need to protect him. That's the biggest thing, right? He's not mobile like Brock Purdy was. Brock Purdy, I think, ran for his, I don't know, there's some crazy stat that he rushed around for like a whole bunch of yards compared to what he threw for. He was running for his life last week, and Matt Stafford can't run for his life. He doesn't have the facilities for that. He's already has a banged up finger too, so that's gonna be a thing to watch for. Because the Seahawks, what are they gonna do? They're gonna try to collapse the pocket, make him throw quickly, and if you get finger jammed on that, you're gonna get it messed up even more. Kyron Williams, Blake Corum, can they establish the run? Because Christian McCaffrey and a lot of other running backs have not been able to against Seattle. If those two cannot establish the run at all, I mean, yeah, you could throw it to Puka Nacua, who's had great games, but is he going to win the game single-handedly? I don't know. Devontae is back, but again, they haven't looked that impressive in this playoffs, right?
No.
Stafford,
they had a scare against Carolina, dude.
If it wasn't for Puka Nacua playing great defense, maybe they don't even get out of the wild card round, right? So
it was testy.
It's for me, the biggest thing for the Rams is that run game. Can they establish that run game? Because that will set up the rest of their offense. If not, yeah, it might not end well for them.
Don't you think it'll go back to what you said about Josh Allen with 2 close games potentially going on? Whoever can protect that ball, whoever can make that late drive, whoever can be the smartest player on the field is going to win the football game.
Well, isn't that? I think you already have the script, Clarky, for championship weekend. Whoever doesn't turn the ball over when it matters the most is going to win the games, right? That's exactly what's going to happen. I think Stafford is prone sometimes to throw picks. He hasn't done it this year, but it's in his DNA. Darnold can throw a lot of picks as well. So again, which quarterback is going to bite first? Who's going to toss that pill up and make that mistake when it matters the most? And then can that team capitalize on that mistake? Because if they don't, then the game keeps on going on, right? So turnovers are a big thing, right? Turnovers are a big thing. Then also, that crowd in Seattle is going to be jacked up. So how do the Rams adjust to that? Because this Chicago was loud, but Seattle's a different beast when it comes to loud.
Yeah, the 12th man. I mean, it gets loud there. They're going to be tipping the Richter scale for sure. It's going to 2 unbelievable football games. I think Rashid Shaheed's probably the X factor in that one for me. If he can make another big play on special teams, look out. Quickly, let's go around the table, toss out some score predictions. Clarky, what are you feeling? Patriots, Broncos. Give me a score prediction here, brother.
I hate to say this.
Yeah, okay.
But I think the Patriots are going to the Super Bowl, and they will win 24-17.
Okay.
And on the other side, Seattle's going as well, and they will win 20-13.
I like that. Justin likes that. Rematch of 2014.
Yeah.
Justin, what are you thinking here?
I think on the AFC, again, I kind of said it when we talked about the AFC Championship game. I think I don't know, something about me just thinks the Broncos somehow win this game. I think they win like a 17-14 game on a last-second field goal. I think that's what happens. I think Drake May plays well enough to win. I just think that this young Patriots team makes one mistake on defense, and Sean Payton exploits that. And hey, I honestly think, Sean Payton had some bad luck with the refs in an NFC Championship game. I think he might. I don't want this to happen, but it wouldn't surprise me if some calls go his way on Sunday. So I'll go Broncos 17, Patriots 14.
Ooh.
Okay.
And in the NFC, God, I really don't want to jinx this, but I really hope it happens. I think the Seahawks win 24-20. 24-20. Defense makes a stop on the last drive, and they win this game. Yeah, I think that's
Okay.
24-20.
I like that. I'll
Jury?
start with the Seahawks because I'll save my Pats for
course.
last.
Yeah,
I like the Seahawks 24-21. Nail biter. Stafford will throw 3 touchdowns, but it just will not be enough. That defense will come up with a big play on the final drive, and that'll be it, and the clock will run out. Patriots. Look, man, he hasn't given me a reason to doubt yet.
No?
I was a little nervous going up against that top-ranked Houston D, and he made the big plays. Like, guys, it feels like that 2001 team with a young, fast defense, not the all-pros that team had, although Christian Gonzalez is certainly going to win plenty of those. Future Defensive Player of the Year, too. But it just feels like the offense has a bunch of guys that just show up and can contribute in different ways. No one's a superstar on that offense other than Drake. I feel like Stephon Diggs is going to have a big play in this game. He wants to prove everybody wrong that let him go in Buffalo and Houston. Patriots 20, Broncos 10. That's what I'm feeling, man. I don't think Jerry Stidham. If I'm looking at these two quarterbacks, I like what Drake May brings to the table more than Jerry Stidham. Sorry.
Okay.
I know his name's Jared, everybody, by the way. It's an inside thing. He's Jerry. He's Jerry until he wins this game, and then I'll call him Jared, all right? Former Patriot.
I honestly hope the Broncos win because I do have a friend who's a big Broncos fan, and he's such a big Broncos fan. I don't even know his first name. I call him Bronco.
Right.
And he's
there
like over the top Broncos fan.
Love it.
Him and his wife, Mel, I coached Mel in ball. So I hope the Broncos win, but I think the Patriots will win.
I like that. You want to know what's awkward for me, gentlemen? My beloved Kate. We just surpassed our 8-year anniversary the other day. Broncos fan.
Oh.
Tough one.
So it's going to be a dicey night.
Tough one.
In the jury house.
You need to put, like you did when Ovechkin scored his goals and that. You need to put the video, the phone down and record some of this next week.
We'll see. We don't like to banter each other too badly, so it might not be that entertaining. We're pretty chill. We're chill about it. Justin, thanks so much for doing this, brother. It's always great to catch up with you when we want insight on the NFL, brother. Enjoy the game. I hope things turn out well for your Seahawks. I'd love to see a rematch of 2014, brother. Best of luck.
Absolutely, and let's hope the Leafs are sellers at the deadline too, guys.
That's still wait. Hold on, we must have 30 seconds. Like we've always said, this team was not built for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Okay, so right now they're not built for a great regular season. Who cares? Because they've been built for a great regular season in the past. And what has it got them? They're not going to be sellers. They're going into the playoffs with the best bottom 6 they've ever had, and it's got to play out.
Clarky, that's not a great argument.
Punt on this year, get some prospects, get that prospect pool back, get some picks back.
Not happening.
Through your cat books a little bit.
Not happening. It's not happening.
Retool year. I'm in a full rebuild.
Happening. I'm telling you, it's not happening this
year.
Maybe next year, but not this year.
We'll see. Justin, good luck to those rebuilding Canucks, brother. Thanks for doing this, buddy.
Go play some piano.
See you, dude. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there's our friend Justin Pooni. You can find his work writing Canucks content for Fansided, and of course, check out all the great work he's done for Homestand Sports. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, Clarky. About a minute or two left here.
Yeah.
And boy, those hockey standings, they are not getting any less bunched up.
Crazy,
and that was a tough loss to Detroit the other night, too, in overtime, giving them
every loss is tough, dude. Every loss is tough. But you know what?
It is.
I honestly, and of course, I'm going to feel this way. They're going to make the playoffs. I think
they can.
And as crazy as this sounds, but I think the Terry Pegula presser and the Buffalo Sabres angle of those players watching this, the Sabres are going to start a fall right now. You watch. Mark my words.
Well, they've.
I know it has
before.
nothing to do with the Sabres, except that he owns
it does.
the team.
He's the owner.
I just
owner,
think
right?
that they fired the general manager.
Yeah, they fired Kevin Adams,
and the team turned around. Now,
Yarmo's.
I get it, but I'm just telling you, the Sabres will be the team looking. They're gonna hit a skid, and the Leafs.
We'll see. They've done it all the time. Remember that year a couple years ago when Jeff Skinner was still on the team and they won 10 straight. Yeah. They won like 6 of them in overtime, and then they just absolutely hit the ditch.
Yeah.
I don't want that for you, Buffalo, but we'll see. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, as promised, our
Here we go.
expert, Ian Doig, the Down Under Thunder, I'm going to start calling him, playing on the Legends Senior Tour. Apparently. Yeah, a lot of rain over there. He's playing on the Legends Tour in Australia and New Zealand. We're going to catch up with him from New Zealand after the break here on Instigating. My goodness. Wow. Look at this. It is Mr. Down Under Thunder himself, Ian Doig, our golf expert, is back on the show. Doigy, my goodness, you look like you've been catching some sun, brother. You're almost the same tone as your shirt.
Yeah, it's been pretty nice down here. I spent a couple weeks in Aussie, where it was anywhere from 27 to 33 every day and sunny. So that was good. Okay. And I'm in New Zealand now. We've had record rain here in New Zealand the last couple of days. As a matter of fact, state of the emergency, roads closed, mudslides, all kinds of stuff. And actually, when I was driving in yesterday, the road I was on, about 5 cars ahead of me, we were in a gorge, big river gorge, and about 5 cars in front of me, a tree fell across the road and almost hit it. And we had to get rerouted back out of there and that through this gorge and everything. And they had 400 millimeters of rain in less than 40 hours.
Oh my God. That's insane, dude.
It is. It's insane. Yeah. And yet I just got back from the golf course, and are there puddles on the golf course? There is, but the greens were perfectly dry. It was crazy. It was, it's a neat little golf course. So yeah.
Well, man, okay, so you've been over in Australia, you're currently in New Zealand, and despite the intense rain, has your golf game been rainy, or are we looking at sunny scores?
Well, I'll be very honest with you. So the time I spent in Australia, I had to go through the qualifying tournament to get on the Legends Tour, which is 50 and over, so that I could play a full schedule in 2026. And it's a 2-stage thing. I had to go to the first stage, and it was a little problematic, I will say. I really am struggling with my golf game right now. I don't know what's going on, but a lot of very poor golf shots, some very poor decisions, which is unusual for me. But somehow I managed to birdie the last hole to jump into 6th position, and the top 8 made it through. So I got through the first stage and on to the second stage, which was held the next 2 days on the same golf course. And top 25 got their cards out of almost 100 guys. And I got off to a great start in round 1, where I shot 71 and I was tied for second. I played quite well that day. I was very pleased. Pretty optimistic going into round 2. And I got off to a pretty good start after 4 holes. Pretty solid, and then this shit hit the fan, and it was ugly, and it was a grind from there on out. So much so that I doubled number 5, I doubled number 7, I made a bad bogey at 8, a 3-putt bogey at 9, and they had live scoring going, and so I went and checked the live scoring, and when I stood on the 10th tee, I was outside the top 25 after starting the day tied for second. And it was just a grind. I was fortunate enough that I birdied the 11th, and I got it up and down on 10. I got it up and down on 13, 14, 15, and then bogeyed 17. When I bogeyed 17, I was in 23rd position. If I make par or bogey on the last hole, I could miss. And I hit 2 great golf shots, hit driver and a wedge to about 9 feet, and made the putt for birdie and jumped up to 18th and got my card.
Yes.
So, yeah, it was pretty intense. What's that?
A little applause. You buckled down, you got her done.
Yeah, I did. I got it done, but man, I'll tell you what, it was dramatic, and I felt the pressure because, if I miss, I've come all this way, and I got to basically turn around and get in a plane and go home. And
You,
A little bit of pressure.
you know what
which-
Doigie did?
yeah,
You know what, Clark? You know what Doigie did? Because, earlier we were talking about football and, my Patriots are rolling again. What Doigie did was he was Tom Brady down 28-3 to the Atlanta Falcons. And when it came time for clutch play in the fourth quarter, he got it done. You're Tom Brady.
But he was the Atlanta Falcons to begin with, being in second place.
Yeah, but
yeah,
then
yeah.
But then it's a little bit of
then
both.
he's
A
Tom Brady.
little bit of both.
Yeah, I am honestly, I'm really struggling with my golf game right now, probably more than I ever have in my entire life. And it's the thing of it is I'll go on stretches where I look like I should be on the PGA Tour for 3 or 4 holes, and then I'll play 3 or 4 holes where I should be on the curling tour or the Tiddlywinks tour or something because it feels awful. I talked to my physiotherapist. So about 6 months ago, I started working with a new physiotherapist, and she did a baseline test on my hip movement and the speed of my hip movement. And we really started working hard, and I've been really working, doing the things that she's asked me to do. And just before we left, we tested them again. And not only are my hips moving farther, they're moving faster. And she actually said to me, she goes, I'm going to make your body move better, but it might screw up your golf game.
Uh-oh.
And I'm starting to believe that that's what's going on right now because I'm hitting shots that don't make any sense to me, but I can feel my body moving better. And so it's just going to be a matter of time where I learn how to sync everything back up. But in the meantime, I'm caught in between the two. And it's really like in the practice round today, I hit a couple really good drives, but I hit a shank. I hit 2 6-irons that barely got off the ground. I'm like, what is going on out here? But you know what? I will grind it. Tomorrow is my first tournament. It's a 1-day event, and I will grind my butt off and figure it out, see what can happen. So yeah.
I hate to say it, but it sounds like you're playing a little like me at times.
Yeah, and that scares the hell out of me, Clarky.
I don't know if there's any
Well, he said
Clarky
it's shank.
chili dips going
I mean,
on.
we got some pictures here. This is New Zealand.
That is New Zealand. That's a golf course called Titirangi. It's basically 10 minutes from the central business district of Auckland, designed by Dr. Alison McKenzie, who is the designer of Augusta National, Royal Melbourne, and my favorite golf course in the world, Cypress Point. Built in
Wow.
1927, absolutely spectacular. I would have loved to have played it on a sunny day, but we had about 80 millimeters of rain that day. I was soaked through like a rat. It was awful, but I had a blast. So
And
yeah.
you're staying just down the street, I see.
Yeah, how about that? I'm staying in a lodge on Seaforth Road, and the lodge is called Seaforth Lodge. Great little room. I'm less than a minute walk from the ocean, just on the street right behind me here. I walk down that over the sand dunes, and I'm out on the ocean, and I can go for a dip. And yeah, it's just absolutely, you know what? It's heaven. It's beautiful here. I love
I
it.
got to tell you, Doigie, I'm so happy for you, brother. And your golf game's going to turn around. I know that. These pictures are making me physically ill. I can't believe that this is your reality right now because you would not believe the snow we've got back home, brother.
I can.
sickening.
I can because I've gone on my cameras at the house and looked, and I am glad I am where I am, and I'm living my best life right now. I'm having a blast and meeting great people, and yeah, it's been a lot of fun. So
Well,
yeah.
man.
As a matter of fact, I fly down to Christchurch on Saturday morning, and a girl I went to high school with, her brother and her sister. She's younger than me, but she lives in Christchurch now. with her husband and kids, and they're from Seaforth, and I'm actually going to get together with them for dinner one night. So kind of cool to travel all this way and be able to have the opportunity to do that. So
That's
haven't seen
unbelievable,
her,
man.
haven't seen her in probably 45 years.
Wow.
That's incredible,
Yeah.
man.
So,
The world is
yeah.
small, and it's especially small when you're Ian Doig, the rambling man. So,
And Doigie,
how
it
about
looks
that,
really
brother?
windy. It looks really windy behind you. Is that normal for there?
Yeah, they were telling me it's a pretty windy area. We had at the golf course today, I checked my phone because it was so windy. We had gusts of 70 to 75 kilometers an hour. So we were hitting a lot of low shots today, keeping the ball under the wind. So yeah, but great little golf course. Actually, it reminds me, it's a little country golf course and reminds me quite a bit of Seaforth. And I'm thinking about the Seaforth Road and Seaforth Lodge, and the golf course is designed by a family, 40 years ago and built and by this little family owned and operated. It's crazy how much it reminds me of playing back at home. And I'm hoping that I can kind of find some good vibes out of that and go out and play really well tomorrow. So we'll see.
Well,
Yeah.
buddy, we're behind you. We know you're going to do it because, as we've just established, you're Tom Brady right now. When it's clutch time, you come out and you get it done. Doesn't matter what happens in the first 3 quarters, as long as you come back strong in the fourth and you get it done. All right. So that's
Yeah.
And speaking of windy, okay, as the great Bob Dylan once said, the winds, they are a changing. The times, they are a changing. And I'll tell you what. The times are changing for one Brooks Koepka, who is coming back to the PGA Tour alongside a rumor mill of a bunch of others that might be returning from Live Golf. When you heard that news, I mean, obviously it's great. Like, we love Brooks Koepka. He's a good player. Obviously, we want him playing in all of these tournaments. But when you heard the news, like, what was your initial reaction?
To be honest, I wasn't surprised. I'm looking at it this way. It's taken a few years for the players that, let's use the word, defected over to Live to maybe understand where they are in the world right now, and they're looking back and going, okay, Brooks Koepka's won 5 majors, but if he's playing on Live Golf, it's going to be harder for him to win more majors, and that's going to be his life story at the end of it all, right? So I think he wanted to come back for that reason. You're starting to hear rumors about more guys wanting to come back. One of them being Patrick Reed, which, I could care less on whether he comes back or not. But I actually believe 2 things. I think the penalties are actually too severe for Brooks coming back. I think that's they're paying an awfully big penalty. I look at it from this perspective. If you and Clarkie are working for Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment, and Madison Square Garden Network comes to you and offers you more money, and you leave and go over there and you're there for 2 years or 3 years, and then Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment comes along and says, we really miss those 2 guys, and we're going to offer them more money to come back. Can you come back? Sure you can. And you don't have to come back and pay a penalty to Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment to come back. They just hire you back. So that's why I think the penalties are too severe. But I think what's going to actually start to happen is I think there's going to be a trickle effect initially of guys wanting to come back. And the PGA Tour, if they're smart, will accept them all with lesser penalties, because I think a lot of them will come back. And then what would happen is Live might actually disappear. That's the only way Live is going to disappear, is if the PGA Tour allows these players just to kind of stroll back and play on the PGA Tour without having to pay millions in penalties. That's how it's going to work.
If you're unfamiliar, so with Koepka coming back, he will be returning under stiff financial penalties, being that he cannot earn any money from the player equity program for a minimum of 5 years. That could cost him between 50 million and 85 million potentially, depending on how well he does on the tour. It's It's a stiff, and I
Yeah.
agree it's too stiff, Doigie. I will say that I'm glad that there's at least a penalty in place because these guys really stiff the tour. I mean, they're too intense, the penalties, but I'm glad something is happening.
Yeah, I agree. I think there should be some kind of a penalty to come back, but a penalty of 50 to 85 million dollars. I mean, that's life-changing money. And I think that if the penalties are that stiff, there are going to be players that look at it and go, yeah, okay, I would love to go back and play the PGA Tour, but I can't afford to do that. I'm better off staying at Live.
But you can
Whereas if
still
the
make
PGA
money if you win tournaments, right? You can still make money.
Yeah. The
Like-
big penalty is I think there's a penalty up front. He has to pay do a $5 million donation to charity.
Yes.
But the big one is this equity, because now with I can't think of the name of the sports conglomerate that's kind of backing the PGA Tour now and making it into a equity form. So as you play and the more tournaments you play in, the better you play, the more money you earn, the more equity you earn in the PGA Tour. And therefore that builds up your equity. And so, but they're penalizing. Brooks Koepka can't earn any of that for 5 years. Well, in 5 years, he's going to be at the end of his career. So they're basically penalizing him until the end of his career. Right. And so I think that's too severe. You know what? Take his equity away for a year, maybe two. Okay. Make the $5 million payment to a charity. Okay. Because when he bolted, he made $100 million, but he has to pay penalties to leave Live as well. Right. So he's getting penalized from both ends of the spectrum. And I'm not sure that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it feels a little too severe. I mean, yeah, I agree with the penalty being in place, but like, what if this potentially scares off some guys that are like, man, I'd like to come back, and then they're suddenly going, oh, geez, I don't know if like Dustin Johnson, guys like that, like Patrick Reed, for as much as we malign the guy for good reason, like, yeah, some of these guys might go, I don't know, maybe I'll just wear shorts and blare music over here.
Right, exactly. And that's my fear is that I think if the PGA Tour looked at it and said, look, we're going to lessen these penalties a little bit, make it a little more easier for them to come back, I think there'd be a mass exodus from Live. And then Live would have to learn how to exist in that world. Or what I would see potentially is Live would end up recruiting younger players that haven't established themselves on the PGA Tour yet, and they're going for the easy money potentially, right?
How about older players, Doigie?
Or older players, but I don't think that there's a draw for older players on Live. Like who wants to go watch, Phil because he's Phil, but the older players are starting to lose their game, right? So who wants to watch that? Like who wants to watch me shoot 77?
I was thinking about you, buddy.
Well, if somebody's got a check for our buddy Doigie, if the
we can relate more with watching you.
Well, yeah, you guys can because you know me. But there's an old saying on the PGA Tour. On the Champions Tour, they'd rather watch Lee Trevino shoot 83 than Ian Doig shoot 65 because most people don't know who I am, right? And I get that, I understand that, and that's why the Champions Tour is the way it is. I don't agree with it.
So what you need to do?
Should,
what I was going to say, what you need to do is get over there, get into restaurants, talk to people, and tell them who you are. You never know where that might lead.
Well, you never know. I'm hoping that I can maybe find a couple corporate sponsors while I'm over here for the rest of the year because it's damn expensive. It's damn expensive over here. Let me tell you. I went out the other night and had a chicken Caesar salad and a beer, and it was like $43. So
oh my God!
What is going on, right? So,
wow.
and parking the car. So you check into hotels. Now, I mean, I knew this. I wanted to stay in downtown Auckland the other night, so I checked into the CBD, Central Business District, so I could do some sightseeing down on the harbor and everything, and that. But you pay for you pay for the room, but then you go to check out and you've parked your car there for a night or two, and it's $50 a night to park your car.
Oh my
Oh,
So yeah,
God.
it's something else. It's every time you turn around, you're reaching into your pocket, it seems like. So I need to play well or need to find a corporate sponsor, one or the other. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
time to start calling in some favors for chicken Caesar salad, brother. Like that's
Exactly.
intense stuff. I'll if I can, I'll throw another Bob Dylan quote at you. You don't need a weatherman to know which way the wind blows, right? So you know
Right,
where to
right.
go.
So
You know where to
yeah,
go and find these people. Well, Doigie,
yeah.
I'm glad to hear you're having a blast down there. I know the golf game is going to turn around for you, dude, and it's going to be great. I'm glad to see you having fun down there. You know, for people that, you know, haven't been able to get out there to Australia, New Zealand, like what's the golf culture like out there?
Absolutely phenomenal. I've yet to play a bad golf course. And the people here, both in Australia and here in New Zealand, are so friendly. Like I was at the golf course earlier today and played a practice round, and then I was doing some putting and that. And one of the ladies from inside walked out and said, "Hey, Ian, a bunch of us are getting ready to have some lunch here. What kind of hamburger would you like? You want hamburger, chicken burger? What do you want?" I had no idea who the lady was, but they knew who I was, and they came out and offered to buy me lunch. I was like, "You got to love this place, right?" But it's small town. Like I'm looking at my schedule. I'm here, which is about 2 hours south of Auckland on this little beach, Waihi Beach. Great couple days here. Then I fly down to Christchurch and I race from there down to an area called Akaroa. And I'm right on the beach down there. Play a tournament on Sunday. Monday, I travel back up north for a few hours, play a tournament up there on Tuesday. Then Wednesday off, play a tournament Thursday. Friday off, drive further north for a few hours, play a couple day tournament there. And that's it. That's the schedule. It's just like move, move, move. And I'm here in New Zealand until about the 10th of April or 10th of February. And then my schedule has me go back to Australia, and I'm in Australia until the early part of April. And I just got an invite to play in, get this, the Senior Open in Papua New Guinea. And so I have to make a decision on whether I'm going to stay and go play in that one in the middle of April. So we'll see.
This guy, I'm freezing. My car hasn't moved in a week and a half, and this guy's like, I gotta think about going to Papua New Guinea. I'm gonna hang up this call, Doigie. I can't believe this. Well, good for you.
So
Good for you.
having a blast. I'm having a blast,
That's-
guys. And I really am living my best life. So
That's
yeah.
awesome, buddy. Thumbs up to Papua New Guinea. I think
Yeah.
you're gonna be
Yeah.
going. So
No
because we'll
kidding,
still be
right?
buried under snow at that time, God willing.
Yes, you will.
It's unbelievable here. Well, dude, it's
Yeah.
great to see you. It's great to hear from you. Happy New
Yeah.
Year. The stuff that I'm way past my cut line for Happy New Year, but since you're on the show, I'm throwing it out there because we miss you.
I'm happy New Year back and gladly accepted. So
Thanks,
awesome.
buddy. It's great to see you, dude. Thanks for doing this, eh?
Yeah, anytime. You guys know you can reach out anytime. So I'm happy to come on and kind of fill you in on what I'm doing. So,
Absolutely. Yeah, you look busy, dude. So yeah, it's great to hear from you.
Yeah.
Can't wait to hear about Papua New Guinea.
Get
What a
those hips
monster.
moving faster.
What a monster
right, boys.
this guy is. Down under thunder. There he is, Ian Doig. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another great week of instigating. Glad to catch up with our buddy Doigie here. We're excited about the golf season kicking off. Remember, you can watch this show on Rogers TV, YouTube, find it on all your favorite podcast apps, and of course, you can follow us on social media at Instigating Pod. We will be back next week with more instigating.